has come, you can't stop it. You can't stop it. Yeah? So whatever, 2026 will be good time. It's possible to get a full-term baby before 9 months. It's only God who knows when the child comes. So, our 2026, will be good time. That's how we see it.
Yeah, clearly, we also know now Mr. Lungu has been declared not eligible. Quite unfortunate, I guess, on his part. Well, if you are interested in hearing more about Mr. Lungu's eligibility, we'll endeavor to explain more to you today. I'm just here to urge you to subscribe and hit that like button, hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever we upload content. I will see you on the other side.
Catch Amazing Minds Mondays and Fridays 22 hours Central African Time on YouTube and Spotify for podcasters. Amazing Minds, Zambia's first late night show.
Compliments of the season, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you brought your shouting clothes tonight. This is going to be an interesting one. Show is available Mondays and Fridays, 22 hours Central African Time, right here on YouTube and Spotify for podcasters. Mondays are for the political segment of the show, dubbed The Monday Show. And Fridays are for the spiritual segment of the show, dubbed Bible Talks. And this is one of our very last shows of this year. It has been a long time. Or rather, it has been a long year shooting. We've brought to you a couple of shows this year, couple of breaks. We had very serious load shedding happening to us this year. We managed to thrive, come out on top at the end. Amazing Minds 10, Zesco 0. Yeah. But it has been an interesting year. It has been a great year. We're excited for 2025. You have no idea. And we do hope you're subscribing. Thank you so much to every new subscriber. We are closing the year at a high for us here at Amazing Minds because we're not really in a hurry, as I always say. But we're so glad to be able to reach you. And we're here for a while. We're not going anywhere. So we urge you to subscribe, hit the like button, share, binge watch, see some of the content we put up in the past. And you'll be blessed. You'll truly be blessed. Both the Monday show, the Wednesday show when we had the Wednesday show, and Bible Talks. Today, I'm alone in studio. Mr. Chofaya had to attend to a couple of things. I was also shocked that Chofaya has got personal issues he has to attend to. I didn't know. I thought that was the only thing going on in his life. No, it's a joke. Yeah, so he will be in studio next week as we close for the year. But he is alive and well. He's okay. He's watching as we speak. And he's saying hi. So shout out to Mr. Chofaya and shout out to every single person that watches the show consistently. We have a couple of people that are consistently watching, commenting. Thank you so much. Liking, sharing. It's a blessing to be able to reach even one person that is not ourselves or that is not from our family. It's a blessing. Thank you so much. Today on the show, we have a number of things we're discussing, not a number of things, but a few things, actually. You are here with me today. Yeah, so we have a few things we're discussing. To begin with, the cost of living sees a marginal decline. You can guess what has gone cheap. Then the baby amputee that we spoke of last week, there's an update as the family seeks compensation. And we'll discuss Lungu's eligibility because he's been declared not eligible to stand in 2026. Yeah, so as I said, hope you brought your shouting clothes tonight. Please do subscribe, share, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever we put up content. I'm your favorite guy. I know. I'm my favorite guy too. Yeah, so Legal Aid Clinic has taken up the case of the baby who suffered an amputation due to negligence by medical workers. Of course, we heard that wrong medication was put into the baby's body through a cannula, which later on damaged the baby's arm and had to be amputated. We wanted to show you the picture last week, but it's quite graphical, and we thought you might not be able to bear it. So the baby's arm was quite damaged due to the wrong medication administered through a cannula. And this led to the amputation of the baby's arm. Now, sadly, Ministry of Health had been quiet on the incident to the extent that some institutions, organizations, some pressure groups, we'll put it that way, began to speak out on this baby's amputation, the negligence of the medical workers, as well as the silence of the Ministry of Health, because such a case demands immediate attention. You can imagine the alteration that has happened to the child's life. You can imagine the dreams and visions that the parents had for this child, how they have just been altered permanently. The child has one arm now. There are things that the child can just never do, ever. We understand if someone loses an arm in an accident. We understand if someone is born with one arm. We understand if there's a legitimate expectation that this person was not going to have an arm in the first place. We also do understand if it's a circumstance that seems like it couldn't be controlled. But this one looks like a situation that could have been controlled, like something could have been done about it. Couldn't the medical personnel see that the arm was changing? We have so many questions as laymen. Of course, I'm not in the medical field, so I can't explain too much about what they could have done differently, except I believe we are professional enough in Zambia, in our medical field, to be able to tackle this matter differently. So the parents are seeking compensation, and this time we hear from both the mother and father. Rightfully so. I think they do need to be compensated. I personally think they need to be compensated. Let's take a listen from the mother.
Nifuna compensate bazamtandiza kuti mwana uyu ku school akampeleke ku school akaponzire bwino ngati ponzira kulingana vane wana nichitawa chipata clinic mwamina alili hapa na kwanja imozi sanga fighting so ili vintu vinivuta wati moye vana kwanja imozi nipempa tandizo please nipempa tandizo kati nipempa tandizo paineneka nema kwaniso fighting but the way mwamina hapa madezi amenavutika naye mu clinic kuonana ku UTH kuchana na kwa napezeka vintu vanivutako ora pano so ninakuka nipa nyumba ina mpa place.
Yeah, this situation reminds me of a scripture. It says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it come all the issues of life. Once your heart is tempered with, whether it's a breakup, a relationship gone wrong, and your heart is in a painful place, it determines the entire state of your life, because every single decision you begin to make, whether good or bad, may be coming through the lens of a heartbreak. So we're talking about people decide to get fit. We're talking about people decide to lose weight. People decide to get more productive. We're talking about people lose hope. People do all manner of things as a result of a breakup, right? And now I'm not saying anything is right or wrong. I'm just saying, guard your heart with all diligence because out of it come all the issues of life. And this is the case of this mother here. We don't know what she had going on in her life and whether she will use this as occasion to now not put in any work at all. Now, even if she did that, I think she has the right to do it. At this point, she has the right to say, I can't work anymore because I have to take care of my child who now has one arm but was born with 2 arms. And the point I'm trying to drive across is this. Right now, it's not only the baby's life that has been altered, it's the mother's life that has been altered as well. Because even if the mother used to make fritters, that will definitely infringe on that process. It will impede that process. And therefore, the government does need to step in via the Ministry of Health or whatever organization comes in to compensate such negligence. I really do support the idea of her receiving a compensation. Let's take a listen from the father who we did not hear from last week.
Because of when mujuba kwanja, it was very difficult to make a decision kuti mujuba kwanja. Tinapata ngacho vuta mani, it's very bueno. It was very painful. Okay, since vonse vinamveka tinalondola vambiri, chametinga fune koche. Because kulangana pa mwana, 1 ni mukazi, 2 sanga 7 nchito iliyonse. So chametifuna gochabe ni composition tandizo choka kuboma. Ndiye chiku chametifuna gochabe. Position wazati pasa chametinga funi kolanga napo chikulu ni kuona chintu chamechinga zibulisa lako tandizo pa mwana.
Yeah, as I said, again, the state of the heart of these parents has changed. Therefore, their life is now going to be looked at through the lens of what has happened to their child. That's quite unfortunate. And I do hope they get the justice they seek. Because it's wild. It's rough, eh? Now, the GSU, its Center for Theological Reflection, has given us the November 2024 breakdown of what the economy looks like in terms of the cost of living for families in Zambia. And there has been a slight drop recorded, just like we explained last time that there was a slight drop recorded. And you can guess the reason is the same: mangoes. Apparently, Mr. Chofaya here was making a defense of this point that there are people who actually survive on mangoes. They eat mangoes the whole day and go to bed. I can't dispute that. Probably. I think if I ate a couple of mangoes, I would be full. But I just don't think it's something that we should now look at and say, oh, the cost of living has reduced because now we have mangoes. Yeah, but we are here, I guess. So take a look.
Marginal decrease in the cost of living for Lusaka families observed in November 2024. The Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection has recorded a slight reduction in the Basic Needs and Nutrition Basket, BNNB, for the month of October 2024 for a family of 5, which now stands at 10,393 kwacha, down from 10,408 kwacha in October. This marginal decrease of 15 kwacha 72 ngwe highlights the influence of seasonal changes and price fluctuations across essential items in the basket.
Let us see reductions in important things, guys. I think, at least I don't think the reduction is based on anything important. Seasonal fruits or seasonal things are just that. They're seasonal. What happens out of season? Are we going to say when we're out of this season, we're going to have an ever-increasing cost of living? Because if we're going to base a reduction on seasonal changes, then seasonal changes as well can determine the increase in the cost of living. I don't know what you guys think. If you agree with me or disagree with me, leave it in the comments. Respectfully, please, or else I'll tell you where to buy microphones. Yeah, but I don't think this is a significant change in terms of a cost of living. Of course, it is a change, but not a significant change. And in other news, 4 police officers are implicated in an alleged gang rape of an 18-year-old female juvenile in Lungu, who had been apprehended for idle and disorderly behavior. Oh, now what's going on here? This is really strange. The police are the people we are supposed to rely on for protection. If the person you are supposed to run to for protection is the one you are now you're supposed to run away from, then who will protect you? The army? Yeah, this is strange. This is quite strange. I hope this time around, these police officers will be made an example of. I think we've had a long-standing issue in this country, and maybe Africa in general. I don't know. I'm speaking from an anecdotal point of view. I have no evidence of this. But we've had this problem in perpetuity, at least here in Zambia, where we hear stories of police officers or uniformed officers doing certain acts to civilians and going scot-free because they are uniformed. I don't know why, but there are so many cases. There's an array of cases. We could go for 3 more hours on this show of me giving you case by case where we have never heard the outcome of what happened after a policeman descended upon a civilian. We hope we'll hear justice on this one. We may not even give you an update on this one. It happened in Lungu. It wasn't even anywhere close. But it's quite sad to hear that the police would be involved in such a thing. Also, I guess innocent until proven guilty. So we don't know if they actually are guilty, but they've been implicated. That's what the news says, implicated. So yeah, we're hoping for the best. Now, the news that we had all been waiting for a very long time, Mr. Lungu's eligibility. I'm sure the whole nation was tuned in. At least a good majority of the nation was tuned in to watch the judgment as it was read in a 4-hour period, half of which I watched. There was a lot of jargon, a lot of English. I think, in my honest view, the judgment was quite comprehensive. I think they tackled it from every angle. They gave us closure, we understand, and we got the final verdict. What you guys think would be interesting to hear. Let me know in the comments what you think about the final verdict. Yeah, but before I give my comments on it, I would like you to take a look at the judgment itself.
Our combined interpretation, therefore, of sections 2 and 7 of the Act and the repealed Article 35 of the Constitution is that the first respondent's term of office, that ran from 25th January 2015 to 13th September 2016, constituted a term of office. The first respondent's term, which ran from 13th September 2016 to August 2021, constituted his second term. The first respondent, Mr. Edgar has therefore been twice elected and has twice held office. Article 106(3) of the Constitution makes the first respondent ineligible to participate in any future elections as a presidential candidate.
You know, if there's something I really appreciate, it's when a big institution, or maybe what we can even deem as the untouchables, humble themselves, admit a wrong, and apologize. And in the case of the court, as it relates to Mr. Lungu, after having comprehensively explained that indeed Mr. Lungu's term from 2015 to 2016 was a term, and 2016 to 2021 was another term, that he was sworn in twice and elected twice, and that the court, in permitting him to stand for the 2021 election, did not consider the transition from one constitution to another in terms of the amended constitution that was introduced in 2016. Now, in doing this, the court is admitting that they made an error and that they are correcting that error by now telling us that Mr. Lungu can't stand in 2026. At least that's my layman interpretation. And I think that gives some closure. It's quite unfortunate for Mr. Lungu, the Tonse Alliance. I don't know what happens to that alliance now. I don't know whether Sean Tembo will go back to his party, whether we'll still be seeing him on the ballots. I don't know. Only God knows, I guess. So Mr. Lungu is not eligible. And now he has gone in for Plan B, but let us listen to a couple of comments from various parties, to begin with Mr. Luwenda.
Just say, oh, because the Concord today has said this, therefore we agree. No, we have not agreed. We are not in agreement with this judgment. We are not in agreement. Finished. We are still standing firm that ours is eligible. And there are many options, madam, isn't it? Many options, including going back to the same court. But you never know, we could even use our own Mingalato. Maybe we'll go to local court.
I don't know what Mr. Lubinda is implying by saying he's not in agreement or they are not in agreement with this judgment. I think that's a dangerous ground to tread, Mr. Lubinda. You really need to tread more carefully. Yeah, because I don't know what you can do, honestly, about this. Take it to the local court. I don't know what you can do. I mean, that is the court that's there. Abako. What other court will you take it to? What? This case will be heard for the third time? So I don't know what you mean when you say you won't agree. Now you are forcing Mr. Mwetwa to enforce the law as he suggested in this clip.
Law will apply in ensuring that that judgment is respected, because we're a government of laws and not of men. One would have asked to say, but why were they appearing before courts through their lawyers to make submissions if they were not going to respect the judgment of the court? We will not endeavor to pander into that arena. Rather, just to say they may disagree with the judgment, but they will not disagree with the position of the law. And we believe that that is fine.
Mr. Mwetwa seriously looks like a prefect. They are ready to descend upon anyone who tries to stand against that judgment. I mean, they were waiting for this, I guess. It looks like they anticipated it. Well, to be honest, the whole nation anticipated it. What were we expecting? That Mr. Lungu would be allowed to stand? Who was expecting that? I don't think anyone was expecting that. Was there anyone expecting that? Why would you expect that? I think it was quite clear from the start that this is where it was going. I'm not saying that Mr. Lungu's aspersions, that this is a product of political machinations and a hand playing in the background to ensure that there is an expected outcome. I am not suggesting that. Neither am I agreeing with Mr. Lungu on that. All I am saying is the expectation of the nation was rather clear. This is why there was a very peaceful reaction to such a judgment. That's what I think. Mr. Lungu, however, the former President Edgar Lungu has said it's time to launch Plan B after accepting the Constitutional Court's verdict. So it seems he is accepting the Constitutional Court's verdict, even though other parties are denying it on his behalf. And he is then ensuring to tell us, to inform us, to let us know that this mysterious Plan B shall begin to then take effect. Of course, Mr. Cornelius Mwetwa did not take kindly to such a promise of a Plan B, and he went to place some emphasis on how the law will be enforced on anyone that tries to break away from what the court decided.
Plan B should be within the realm of the law and within democratic means. And for that reason, we challenge the former president to come out in the open to tell us, as a people, to tell the citizens what that Plan B is. We do not expect a clandestine Plan B, such as we are treated to a bizarre incident in 2016 when ministers remained in office illegally and some unknown philanthropic organization paid for them. Democracy demands transparency, and those who seek to lead a nation in their transaction of public affairs should be open and transparent as to what they want to do, because it is for public consumption. So we are not going to speculate about what that Plan B is all about, but we are hopeful it is within lawful means, as anything unlawful will not be entertained.
Plan B should be within the realm of the law. So yeah, whatever Plan B is, it should be within the confines of the law and the democratic boundaries. This is what Mr. Mwetwa is trying to say. I agree. I think whatever Plan B is, it should be an endorsement of someone else. Because right now, for Mr. Lungu to begin to push to still be president, that will bring in other issues now. Yeah. So tell me what you think. Mr. Chofaya would have really loved to talk about this particular subject. He was eager, burning in his heart to talk about this particular subject. It's quite unfortunate he's not here today, but he'll be here next week and we'll still give our remarks on this verdict. But yeah, it's so interesting to see how things have unfolded. I mean, Mr. Lungu came out of the closet, not the kind of closet you may be thinking of. I'm talking about the political retirement closet, to say he has resurfaced, come back into active politics all of a sudden, shortly after Mao Sampa attempted to take over the party. Which party? We are not even sure who the president is currently, because as you may have noticed, given Lubinda there is being called PF faction president. So I don't know how many factions are there to the PF presently. We don't know whether it will remain like that in perpetuity, that there'll be 3 factions, one headed by Mr. Zampa, one by Mr. Chabinga, and one by Mr. Lubinda. We don't know. And also, we don't know why Mr. Lubinda is further going on to deny the court's decision over Mr. Lungu when he is a faction president. Why? He was holding the seat for Mr. Lungu. Then what about Tonse Alliance? Do you see where the confusion is coming from? So what happens to Tonse Alliance now? Are all these political leaders going to go back into their parties after having been made press secretaries of the Tonse Alliance to give announcements when you had a whole political party? What kind of a vision did you have to find yourself in such a position? It's strange, honestly speaking. It's strange. So if people can jump from one party to another, it helps me. It assists in me questioning the legitimacy of their vision, the legitimacy of their intentions. Do they really have what they wanted to do for the country, or they were just excited about the idea of being a president and moving in a motorcade? Ask yourself this. Why do we perpetually have politics of the belly here in Zambia? It's not only about the politicians, it's also about us who are watching and accepting and voting. This is why we can't get a different result unless we look at a different approach. And sometimes that approach comes from the people. So that was Mr. Lungu's fate in court. This is not going to be a long show. As I said, Mr. Jafai is not here. I have given it to you like this, sharp, quickly. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe, hit the bell, share. I'll be back here on Friday with Bible Talks. We're doing our last Bible Talks for the year this Friday, and our last Monday show for the year next Monday. So hold on to your shouting boots, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Hey, like what you see? I know you do. Hit the button below to subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Ciao.